Welcome to another episode of David Does Things. Today, what are we doing? So, quick recap. Last week, we got engine in and transmission in and painted and all that fun junk. So, motor sitting in, we're ready to start hooking stuff up to it, but before I get too carried away with that, I want to put the pedals back in the car, put the brake master cylinder in the car and the slave cylinder back in the car, so we can have those systems ready to hook up. But before I throw the pedals back in the car, I want to clear the deadening, or the sound deadening, that's on the floorboards and all throughout the cabin. So what I'm going to start with is we're going to start with clearing out this car, and then I'm going to make a quick trip down to the store, go pick up some dry ice, and we'll hopefully start removing it, and hopefully it's as easy as it looks in all the other internet videos where everybody else has removed sound deadening. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. Okay, as you guys can see, we are pretty well cleaned out. I'm gonna make a quick trip to the store. Hopefully the local Safeway has some dry ice. I think it does. If not, Walmart's right there. I think Walmart has dry ice too. If not, I know for sure Fred Meyer's does, but that's all the way across town. So it's a little bit farther. Welcome to Science with David. Hello, I am your host, David. Today, we're gonna be removing our sound deadening from our race car. Why? Because sound deadening is heavy and a waste of weight. We don't need it. We don't care about our ears. We don't care about being heavy. We just want to go fast. Over here in this nice green container, I have bought about 8 pounds of dry ice, and I've already taken the liberty of smashing it up with a hammer. Down here, we have our bucket. We're going to transfer some of the ice into this bucket. Upon doing so, we're going to throw some rubbing alcohol on it. Just standard over-the-counter rubbing alcohol. Nothing special. We're going to mix them up. The rubbing alcohol won't freeze because it's alcoholic. It takes a lot to freeze alcohol. So we're going to combine the two. It's going to become like super cold, which will hopefully help us to disperse some of the freezing. And hopefully that should help us remove our sound deadening. Now, never actually done this. I'm learning as I'm going. I only bought about 8 pounds of it, which was one brick at the local Walmart, and it was about 15 bucks. So you do your math, it's not super expensive, but it's not really cheap either. So whatever, it is what it is. Supposedly this is the easiest way to remove it from what I understand according to the internet. So we're gonna try it because I really don't want to scrape it and be left with all the gum and gunk that it leaves behind. So hopefully this doesn't leave that much behind. Let's start mixing. If we listen closely, we can hear science happening. We can hear it cracking. Gonna give it a couple minutes. behold. So, made a bunch more progress. It's much later in the day. So the one big thing about the dry ice is it's great for this flat area, but anything where you have like a vertical wall, like the transmission tunnel and whatnot, that's where it gets really, really tricky and really hard to like get it done. So I kind of was using like the chunk of cardboard underneath that bucket over there to kind of like hold it up against the wall and like just kind of press it there, which kind of works, and it kind of gets it cold enough that you can chunk it off. But it does leave a lot of like gunk, so I'm probably going to have to go back with like a flap disc to smooth all that out so it doesn't look super chunky when we repaint it and clean it up. I still do have the back here, which I'm not super concerned about because this probably will go pretty quickly because it's kind of easy to get to in comparison to the stuff that's way up there, because that stuff kind of sucks to get to. Keep chugging. I don't know how much more I'm going to get to film tonight. Just simply because it's kind of late and I'm kind of trying to hustle so I don't, you know, make too much noise and keep my neighbors up too late while I do this. Because I'd like to get all the sound deadening that I want to take out tonight, which, oh, and then there is sound deadening going all the way up the firewall here. Like this is sound deadening right here, which I can kind of peel up some of it by hand. So anyway, I might peel up what I can by hand, but I'm probably not going to get too concerned about the stuff up on this firewall just because it's not really going to be seen because it'll be underneath the dash, and if anything, it'll just help to keep the cabin a little bit quieter, maybe even a little bit cooler, and I don't think it's enough weight to really worry about. I think we got the bulk of it out by taking out the floor and doing the trunk and everything else. Gonna go ahead and do the trunk next, and then whatever dry ice we have left over, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it up front and tackle that. So let's get to it.
You gotta vacuum all this shit. You've knocked out basically everything.
Definitely. Oh my god. Oh.
And flap disc and shit. But you gotta vacuum it first. It's all you, man. It's all you.
What's up, my dudes from the significantly far future? Not really that far in the future, just the next day. It's been a little bit since I've last updated you guys. I've now gotten all of the sound deadening basically broken out. Yeah, and if we zoom out a little bit, we can see that my garage is a complete and utter mess. So, I'm gonna clean, and I'm gonna show you guys what it kind of looks like now, which I think it looks a lot better. I still have a lot of wire wheeling to do, and that's just gonna be a long process. I'm not gonna make a video about that. That's boring. Just gonna attack it with a wire wheel. So if you're gonna do it, dry ice, it's the way to go. It does help a lot. I think I ended up using about 35 pounds of it. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is what it is. So check back in with you guys in a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and tackle cleaning up some of this stuff, and yeah. Okay, my dudes, we are back. We have cleaned, and it's again pretty late in the day. Got sidetracked doing some other stuff, cleaning up around the house a little bit. Anyway, you can see Went ahead, vacuumed everything up. Oh, focused. All right, went ahead, vacuumed everything up. Looks a lot better. Oh, missed some stuff here. Obviously, probably missed a bunch of stuff, but so I got a lot of wire wheeling to do. There's a lot of like little remnants still here. So if I know if I threw paint over this or anything like that, it would just show through. So we want this thing to look as clean as possible. So I guess I will take the time to do some wire wheeling. It's mostly just time, I guess. But yeah, so that's gonna be it for today. This video, whatever. I'm gonna do that in my free time because I'm not gonna try to make a video about wire wheeling. That's not even fun. Not even a cool time lapse. This is just time consuming. So remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.